flip to this. Oh, I look a mess. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's time for our Caturday morning cat chat. If you haven't seen humans on camera before, I am Sam. My wife Amanda and I are your fosters. We've been fostering for 7 years and have fostered over 180 cats and kittens, including in this room the sex ed kittens with Mama Jean, Amy, Ruby, Otis, Eric, Maeve, and Ola. How's it going, everyone? Glad you could make it to Starbeam. Our current goals are, of course, to get food and litter stockpiled for all of these awesome cats and kittens. So if you want to help us out, you can go to Cuteavalanche.com/wishlist or /donate to make a monetary donation. And that would help us out greatly. We do these chats 3 times a week, Mondays at noon, Wednesdays at 9 p.m., and Saturday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Usually, we're running a little late this morning as we were trying to make some modifications to the setup, and thankfully we did not disconnect our internet in the process. Yay. And yeah, we've got a big event coming up February 11th. That's really soon. A week from tomorrow, our Super Bowl, there it is, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to superbowl.com for more information. I will. You can pre-donate to get a special shout out during the halftime show for only as little as $1 donation, but there's other perks for even more. So please help us out in the pre-game and then join us for the main event. The best experience is going to be on Twitch. We do multicast to about 8 different platforms, but Twitch has certain functionality the other platforms won't get. Every platform will be able to go to the donation portal and affect the scores of the game and vote for or root for their favorite team in that way. So it is open to everyone. And yeah, again, we do multicast to about 8 different platforms. So I'm going to set this up really quick. I should be able to see almost all of your chats, but if I'm not seeing your chat, jump over to Twitch and shout at me and be like, hey, you don't see X, Y, and Z platform, and I'll see what I can do to fix that. I'm going to set that up in just a second. So if anyone's saying stuff that's not on Twitch, I apologize. I didn't do that before because we were running late. And Amanda can give updates on cats while I fix this. You have updates?
Cats are cute.
There you have it. That's our chat.
They're getting super playful and adorable. They are 4 weeks old today. Probably toss some toys in there for them today. They were climbing out of the little cutout that we made to give Mama ease of getting in and out. They were finally tall enough to reach. So we had to mend that last night.
Yeah.
We've basically just sort of been slowly avoiding or putting off the inevitable of putting up the test boat, but the goal of that is just to give Mom, make it as easy as possible for her to get in and out for as long as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that next weekend when we do the Super Bowl,
yeah,
it's going to be in this enclosure.
Oh, you don't think we're going to come out?
No.
Okay. They're still going to be too small to have full room access.
They're not going to be able to get up and down off the normally we would give them full room access.
Right.
At 6 weeks old, we would be slowly, 5 weeks old, we'd start letting them out when we're in the room.
Right.
But then when we're not in the room, we would put them back in to get, so that we can watch them as they navigate things. And then by 6 weeks, they're fully out.
Yeah.
So they'll have just turned 5 weeks. And I don't think they will be able to get up and down off the bed easily or successfully.
Yeah.
And I don't really necessarily want them to fall by we're putting them on. And honestly, just let's be real, it's much more contained. It's much easier to have them on camera. If they're loose in the room, they're going to go to random places and hide, because that's what they do when they first get access to the room.
Okay. That's true, I suppose.
So I think it makes the most sense.
I don't know what we're going to do with our fields, because that blanket is overkill for there.
We'll just fold it.
Gonna be having some new measurements of the field. It's gonna go from.
We also have that thinner one that is a bit smaller
Yeah,
that we could use
we'll
rather
see.
than the
I
fuzzy
couldn't
blanket.
find
but
that one,
I
but-
say we just fold that blanket
Okay.
and just fold it. It's fine.
Okay.
The other one is where the footballs are.
I couldn't
In the
find
top
those either.
drawer,
Right or left?
right?
Okay. Yeah, that one was pretty stuffed. I thought I dug through it. I don't remember which drawer I did which with. You didn't by any chance toast those?
Yeah, they're
Yours.
in the toaster
Did you
right
open
now.
mine up?
Yes.
Great.
So, did you notice how Maeve's, your tips are bent?
No. Yes. Kind of.
Freaking cute.
Okay. Like a semi-fold.
Yeah.
Insomnia says, not up to code, gonna be disqualified. You could have clearly said disqualified. Missed opportunity. Leave the puns to pros.
I have no problem with your pun. I think it was cute. Screw Sam.
Wow. I don't remember if I actually. You're right. If I actually reacted to or replied to this one, but Ormic said, "So you woke up next to a kitten, Sam? Huh?" Yes, this morning I felt something like pawing at me, and I assumed it was Mom. I kind of went back to sleep for like 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe it was only 1, but it felt like it. And then when I finally like rolled over and woke up, Amy was just like sitting right there, and I was like, "What the? What are you doing here?" So she has figured out how to climb through. There's let me see if I can show you guys on the camera here. So that little break where that green clip is, she figured out how to use that as a ladder. And then I suspect others are going to learn that very soon. So we're going to have to, that's our next thing. This is what we did today, folks. We put that cable management there, so there's no longer that whole internet cable just hanging. Okay, I'll stop moving the camera around and do that. Okay. Some were climbing in the, well, of course, they have that grating to climb on. They were figuring out the clip during your podcast yesterday. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, I kind of expected that to happen, but we're gonna.
I want to put another one of those pee pads down in there too, because that one doesn't cover the whole floor.
Sure. Yeah. Can you guys hear Betty? She's very loud.
She's in the bathroom with the door open. I'm calling. She's in the bathroom with the door open, talking to Iris, who's in the living room. So she's being very loud. She's talking about their cartoon that they're watching.
It's that horrible musical episode.
Yeah, I know. She said Iris made her put it on. Is that her name? Cute. Betty? Our daughters are Betty and Iris.
Having a little toilet chat, as it were.
Exactly.
A little potty talk.
Sometimes Betty will be like, Iris, come into the bathroom with me. Like, just so she can chat with her while she's going to the bathroom.
It's going to be their podcast, Potty Talk. The podcast.
One of my grandma's names was Betty. Mine too, which is why my daughter's name is Betty. Yeah, she's named after my grandma. My mom's mom was Betty. She was like my very closest grandma. I've spent a lot of time with her growing up. She lived really close to me. And my other grandmother's name was Elizabeth. So when Betty, well, before Betty was born, I was like very much on the fence about whether or not to name her Elizabeth but call her Betty, or just name her Betty. Because if I named her Elizabeth and called her Betty, she'd effectively be named after both my grandmas.
Right.
But ultimately, I decided I was going to be very controlling and just name her Betty. so that she couldn't end up calling herself Liz or
Right.
Beth or
Sure.
Elizabeth or whatever. I wanted to make sure that it was Betty and not one of those other names, so, you know.
So now she calls herself Birdie.
Well, I called her Birdie. Actually,
that's
that's what
fair.
I wanted. I
Yes.
wanted her name to be Betty, but I wanted her nickname to be Birdie, and I wanted
Yeah.
everybody to call her Birdie. And before she was born, we all referred to her as Birdie. And then once she was born, I was like, I had this weird bit where I was like, oh, she's not going to know that her name is Betty if we
So,
don't call
yeah.
her Betty. And so we started calling her Betty as a baby, and
Right.
like the Birdie thing just like
Kind of
fell
slipped
away.
for a bit, but it's coming back. Kinda.
She likes to be called Birdie. We just don't. It doesn't naturally happen.
Yes, yeah.
Like as much as we've tried. But you never know. My nickname didn't really come around until I was
High school.
like 10.
Oh, okay.
My sister started it, and I was called Mandy
Right.
for like all of my till I was a teenager. I was called Mandy.
Yeah.
And now nobody calls me that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like my uncles or something.
Right.
So. Or like my parents' friends who knew me as a little kid.
Yeah.
So it depends. If she starts introducing herself to people, to new people that she meets as Birdie,
Very cool.
it will stick.
And says, my grandma that passed away was Elizabeth. My middle name is Elise. As I have
Long.
first and last name. Yep.
Nice. Betty's middle name is Lee, which is named after Sam's mom. Her first name is Leslie, but she goes by Lee and has always gone by Lee. And technically also named after my mom because my mom's middle name is Lee.
Yeah.
So Betty has my mom's first name and my mom's middle name. And Iris is named after no one. Iris is just Iris. She's her own individual. Betty is a lot like my grandma Betty.
Yeah.
She wants things the way she wants them.
Sure.
Doesn't really take no for an answer. She likes to call the
That's
shots.
kind of a family.
All the women in my
trait.
family.
I'm the same way. I just give up more because you guys are so loud. And I feel like we're all that way. Kitten is trying to climb on the clamp, make that too. It's the Clamp Olympics. Yeah.
So anyway, these kittens are 4 weeks old. In 2 weeks.
Go check our English.
So next weekend, yeah.
You want butter?
Yes. Actually, no.
No, nothing.
Nothing. The next weekend will be Super Bowl, and then the following weekend, when they turn 6 weeks old, we will be taking them to the Kittenrescue clinic to get vaccinated and treated for fleas and worms, microchipped, tested for FEIV and FELV, and all that good stuff. So that will happen when they're 6 weeks. Speaking of that, that reminds me that I need to go ahead and schedule their spay neuters. I hadn't done it previously because the March appointments weren't out yet, but I think they are out now that it's February.
So I will from
I'm
sharing.
gonna bring in my laptop.
Okay.
And then what else? Brown deer and wing feather are still at my friend Cynthia's. She's amazing and is taking awesome care of them. It sounds like wing feathers ringworm is better. Hair's growing back, it's no longer glowing. So pretty much better. He only has, I think, 1 more week of medication left. But unfortunately, last weekend we realized that brown deer had gotten a spot of ringworm on her head. So she is also being treated. Hers is not quite better yet, like wing feathers, and she probably has 2 weeks left on treatment. So we're trying a new medication that we've never used before for ringworm. It's something new that Kittenrescue as a whole is doing because the old medication that we used to give, which took 5 weeks, it started becoming like not available, like it was backlogged and stuff and hard to get. So we switched to a new treatment, and it's only a 3-week treatment, which is much better than 5 weeks. But, you know, this is kind of our first time doing it, so we weren't really sure if it was going to be like as effective or more effective or what have you. What does that say? My grandma Betty passed away when I was really little. Oh, I'm sorry. My grandma Betty passed away like 2 years ago. So Betty actually got to meet her and got to know her quite a bit. Mine passed June 3rd. Most here, no, it was recent, but I found out 2 of my cousins have Elizabeth as their middle names. They both also had my grandma's name, Elizabeth. When are they going to get fixed? If that is happening, they fix all the fosters through Kittenrescue in LA, and that's what I thought happens. But when does it happen, like age-wise? Not by age. When they reach 2 pounds. I love it how I have not caught up on chat, and the chat is just answering all the questions.
Thanks, guys.
Really, hi, Mama Jean. They have to be a certain weight to have surgery. I see.
Yeah.
Bye, Jean. Okay, so yes, they need to be at least 8 weeks old, and they need to be, or at least 2 months old, at least 2 pounds. Technically 2.2 pounds. Yeah. So generally speaking, when they turn 8 weeks old, they're still not quite 2 pounds yet. We've only had that happen a couple times. So usually it's the weight that we're waiting for more so than the age. But even if they hit that weight early, they still can't get spayed until they're that age as well. So they're both a requirement. 2 months, 2.2 pounds. Yeah, so that's going to happen in March. Oh, we need to switch that calendar.
You're just ripping it off or taping it up?
What?
So you're just ripping it off, or?
Mm.
Oh, I guess you can. Does it reach the nail? Can
Yeah.
you push it through?
Yeah, hopefully. Actually, I don't know if it will.
I don't think
to be
it does.
honest. Yeah, you're right. It's not going to. Just tear it off. Just tear off January.
Oh, I think that's like a drawing on it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's upside down. So we can just now put the drawing right side up. There you go. That works. Ta-da. Great. Perfect. Love it. We changed our calendar, guys. If you haven't done it, go do it.
It's
Change your
February.
It's February.
February. I wish they'd do it by weight in New Zealand, where I am. They don't. They won't do it till 4 months here, often a bit late. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
As we know, that's when you get pregnant when they're 4 months old.
Yeah.
Sometimes earlier. So I don't know if I talked about, I don't even know if I told you. I think I did, about Cynthia's sister.
No.
With the cat, pregnant cat.
Maybe.
I did. I don't know if I told these guys. To be honest, I don't know what's gonna happen. But I did. You want some of my newsroom?
Oh, it's got butter. It's better.
Yeah, his is better. It's got butter. Go buck him.
She's gonna eat yours.
Oh.
Oh. That's so.
Let me put this up. So yeah, so that generally we get all of our cats spayed and neutered between like 8 to 10 weeks. You know, as long as they're healthy and their weight is good, I aim for the like 8 to 9 week range, but sometimes if they've gotten sick or they've had a slow weight gain, it's a little bit closer to 10 weeks. We've had a few instances where we've had cats who were like really sick and didn't get, you know, spayed for several more months. We had a couple cats that were crypt orchid, which means that their testicles weren't dropped or weren't descended yet, and so they couldn't do it. We had a kitten that had like a heart murmur,
Yeah.
and so he had to wait a few months, like extra months, to get neutered. You know, we've had some various things. We had a kitten who was extremely ill and had to be tube fed for like the first month of his life. And, you know, he was super behind, and then he was like super congested, so he did not get neutered until he was almost like 6 months. But for the most part, you know, it happens by 10 weeks. We aim to do it as soon as possible so that we can get them, because the minute that they are spayed and neutered, we can get them out into the adoption world, you know? So the earlier that happens, the better, because the smaller they are, the more quickly they will get adopted. That's just facts. Like, it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. People want baby, you know, tiny baby kittens. What I don't understand is if you really want tiny baby kittens, why don't you foster?
Sure.
Like, get tiny baby kittens that are little like this, foster them, and then
see which one you like.
keep the one or two you like, and then, you know, get rid of the rest. Or adopt them out. Find them homes, whatever. So yeah.
I take a quick.
You guys are very cute. Mavis super floof.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna weigh these guys in a minute.
This is probably too big to put on the screen, but we'll shine it. Yep. Because of Amanda's dedication, the tube-fed boy survived, which was something we were worried about. She was amazing at helping that little man, and now he has a loving family. Yeah.
Yeah, he got adopted with his sister. That entire litter was super sick when we got them. Like, all of their eyes were completely infected. They were like swollen closed, like crusty. Like, even once their eyes opened, they were just full of like pus, and you couldn't even see their eyeballs for like several weeks. So most of them, with the exception of like one, were pretty sick. But the one boy was so sick when we got him that he could not eat. He couldn't swallow or do anything, and he had to be in like an incubator, and I had to tube feed him every 3 hours for like 3 weeks and 3.5 weeks. He was on oxygen and on a bunch of meds, and it was kind of a miracle. It was a miracle that kitten survived. Like, every single time I went into the room to feed him, I thought he would be dead.
Yeah.
Like, I was just expecting it.
I was gonna say, like, there were several times where Amanda would like shout out to get me, and I was like, oh, this is it, he's dead.
Yeah. And like, he was like a wet noodle. Like, he was just limp. He had no energy. He couldn't even lift his head up. Like, it was so sad. But some miracle, he survived. And everybody that I talked to, up until that point, I had never tube fed before. My best friend had done it several times, and so she, like, as soon as I picked them up from the shelter, I could see that they were all sick. I didn't know they were sick when I was headed to the shelter to get them. But as soon as I picked them up, I'm like, oh wow, these cats are super sick. They need medication. So I went to my best friend, who is also a med holder for Kittenrescue, to pick up some meds from her, and we immediately gave that one. Like, when we pulled them all out, we were like, oh, this one is like really bad, and so we gave him fluids and like vitamin B shot, and like, she showed me how to tube feed him. And if she had not showed me how to tube feed him, like, he would have died that first night. Absolutely. So, you know, and now I've tube fed over like 150 times. But most people that I spoke to were like, I've never had to tube feed longer than like 2 days. You know, like, most cats, they're really sick when you get them. You may have to tube feed them a handful of times, and then they start eating on their own. And he just like was not able to do that. And I had, like, most people that I spoke to were like, I've never had to tube feed a cat for such an extended period of time.
He was just like lifeless and limp for like weeks.
It was crazy.
And
his eyes were super bad. Like,
I mean, I think that
they
whole
were just
litter,
covered in pus. Like,
was it? I think it was that litter where like all of their eyes were so bad that we were like, we're going to lose a lot of eyes. Like,
Yeah.
they're going to have all these surgeries.
And nobody did.
And then,
Actually,
yeah.
like, all of their eyes ended up being totally perfect except for his.
Yeah.
He was the only one that, he wasn't blind, but he had like some vision impairment.
Yeah.
But he wasn't blind. But he and his sister both had chronic symptoms due to the severity of the illness that they had when they were little. So they both had like constant like snotty noses, and like he had some breathing issues, and so he found a really wonderful family who adopted them, and they, you know, took all of our advice as far as like giving them supplements and like having air purifiers in their home, and like things like humidifiers and stuff like that to kind of cut down, using like a special litter to cut down on dust and all that kind of stuff. It's really kind of a miracle that, but as soon as he was finally, we kept his sister back to be adopted with him, but he wasn't able to be spayed or neutered right away. Yeah. But as soon as he was neutered, they adopted him, and like, it's just a miracle.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have these two forever, because they were just like snotty and gross. But he was a really beautiful cat, which you know, helped him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Goose, and he was a
Yes.
lynx point. If you want to see pictures of him and videos of him, you can go to my Instagram, her foster mama, and there's some stuff. It was not last year, but the year before, in spring. And at the same time, we had him and his siblings that same day when I was on the shelter, on my way to the shelter to pick them up, not knowing that they were sick. Kittenrescue called me and said, oh, we just heard from the shelter that there's also a single kitten there. And I was like, oh,
thanks, means.
Okay, I guess I'm getting that single kitten too. Like, 'cause I'm not just gonna leave it there. They like sent me a picture of it, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, like I'm not just gonna leave him. He's got a half an hour until they're gonna euthanize him.
Queen says they watched the stream and waited for him. Their cat that passed away had chronic issues, if I remember correctly. And that sounds about right.
So they had a cat that had kidney issues, and so they had to give it like sub-Q fluids and stuff like that. So they were, you know, already sort of experienced with that kind of stuff. And yeah, they had been following Goose's story on the kitten. They first saw it, I think, on the Kittenrescue website, and then they found him like on my page. I don't know if they were actually watching the stream or not, or prior to adopting him. But they definitely had been following on social media. And then once he was adopted, they did come into our stream a couple times.
It says, wait, Goose was one of the Top Gun kittens, right? Yes.
Yes, he was.
Hence the name.
Yeah, so all of those kittens, with the exception of like Maverick, had really bad ocular stuff happening. But so then I picked up this also, like the single cat, and when I got him home, I realized he was covered head to toe in ringworm, and all of his fur fell out. So he was kept completely separate from them, and that was like a super long period. So not only am I like bottle feed or tube feeding Goose every 3 hours and having him in an incubator, I also had to give Rooster these daily baths with this ringworm stuff, and
right.
like, you know, wear gloves, and like he had to be completely separated from everybody, and I had to like medicate him, and like it was 5 weeks, 6 weeks of ringworm treatment for him, and he was just covered. Prior to that, I'd only ever had kittens that had like a small spot of ringworm on them, nothing like what he had. It was all over his entire body, like half his fur fell out. And then he ended up being the kitten who had the heart murmur, so he stayed with us for an extra 2 months as well. I cried when he got adopted. We all got really attached to him because once he was finally clear of the ringworm, he just kind of lived in the rest of our house because he was separate from Goose and his family, because we didn't want the thing that they had to get to him, and you know, they were all still snotty and like whatever. So he was always kept separate, and so he just integrated with our cats once he was like clear and able to play and whatever. You know, he was kept in the girls' room, so the girls got really attached to him.
Yeah.
Because he was kept in a little tent in there.
I think I need to make some coffee, don't I?
Yeah. What time is it?
10:20. Put these things back.
I asked you to bring this in because I realized that the spay-neuter appointments are probably open, so I just wanted to check that. So I did get an application for brown deer and wing feather. I had a PA interested like last week. She met with them for an hour and a half and then wrote me 2 days later and said she decided she didn't want them. So that was cool. So I did get another one recently. I have not responded to that person yet. They were interested in brown deer and wing feather, but also 2 other pairs of kittens. And I just kind of felt like by the time I told them about the ringworm and everything, they would probably just be like, well, we're going to look at these other 2 pairs of kittens that we're interested in them. This is probably not one. Has it been off for a while?
Sure.
So I'll probably respond to that person today, but I have a feeling they've probably already been contacted by the 2 other foster parents of whose cats they were interested in. And, you know, once they find out my cats have ringworm and they're not going to be available for 2 weeks, it's like, meh. Even though they're great, their application looked amazing. I would love it if they wanted to adopt them, but I'm just kind of pessimistic about the whole thing, unfortunately. But you never know. I'll email them today. Okay, here's my spay-neuter stuff. Which video on the account is Goose? So many cat stuff on here. Oh my gosh. Oh, is that the link for Goose? Before and after pics. What's that tube thing in the video? So it's probably the, if it's just a tube that's kind of like in front of him, that was the oxygen. That was the oxygen tube. So he was kept in like a little enclosure thing, and then he had the oxygen fed into it. But sometimes when I would take him out, I would like hold the oxygen near his mouth when I had him on my lap when I was like feeding him and stuff. So I think that's what it was. There is, let me see. I don't know if there was a picture or video of the actual tube feeding. I can't remember. And I don't remember if Sam took any video of that. It was such a I was just trying to keep him alive that I wasn't really concerned about, you know, taking videos and stuff at the time. And we had so many cats at that time with Rooster. Chris and Melissa, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, so the picture, that first picture with Bridget, who has the brown hair and the pink shirt, the thing that she's holding in front of him that's long and skinny and red, that is the tube for tube feeding. It's not actually in his mouth in that picture, but it's just before she was about to put it into his mouth. I wish I had taken video of that. So yeah, this other thing that's kind of white and big and plasticky, that's the oxygen. Yeah, I did tube feed on live stream, I think, right? Is that what you're talking about, Queen? I see Queen said, yeah, we got to see her tube feed as she had to do it so often. probably is, because, yeah, I think we did it live, so I don't know. Saw tube feeding live on stream 2 or 3 times, yeah. That would make sense. Especially by, like, once I'd done it for a while, it kind of got, like, just pretty easy. Yeah, and the 2 posts just before Goose is, like, there's a post that shows all of Rooster's ringworm stuff, and then there's, like, the ones about the other kitten's eyes. Pretty gross. Anyways, you're supposed to be looking at spay neuter stuff here. Okay. March. Oh, March is still not up yet. Okay. I don't have to worry about it.
Hey, all of your siblings are sleeping. Why are you not sleeping? How come you're not sleeping? What are you doing, little munchkin? You little fluff ball? You're so fluffy.
I assume Sam kept those videos, probably put them on YouTube and saved the chat and probably put it on Discord, but I'm not 100% sure.
Which videos?
Of me tube feeding Goose.
I don't know how many videos I have of that.
We did it on live stream a few times. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, like, I don't know, because we didn't, I don't think you actually took it.
Are you trying to put her back? I'll put her back. Mommy. Mommy. Come here. I'll put her back. I just wanted to hold her.
Where are you going?
I'll grab it. Sure.
It's a Maeve.
I just wanted to pat her.
It's a little
Because
Maeve.
Maeve wasn't sleeping and everybody else was sleeping.
Take her back. Go with the yard.
That is really hot, so let it go for a bit. Sorry.
I like it really hot.
It was bubbling.
I want it hot.
Just doing this.
Mom, stop.
Yeah, Maeve. Exactly. M-A-E-V-E.
Jean. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Let her be.
It's moving day.
Don't move. Don't move the kid. Don't move the kid.
But the vroom-vrooms are coming. We have to get out of the field.
So silly.
Maybe 2, Mommy. Did I miss anything? Amanda had taken Maeve out of the pen, and then so she grabbed her and went to move her, but now she's in there just cleaning her.
All the kitties were in there in a little pile sleeping, and Maeve was the only one who wasn't sleeping, and she was meowing. And so I was like, why aren't you sleeping? And so I picked her up so I could, like, cuddle with her and, like, play with her for a minute. And then while I was distracted and talking, Mom came over and grabbed her out of my lap and jumped onto the ground with her.
Awesome Means says, this is 40 minutes, but it's named Bottle and Tube Feeding Demo with New Kitten. It seems to be new. Yeah, that would be it.
40 minutes, but it's named Bottle and Tube Feeding Demo.
That would do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so I probably tube fed him first, and then I bottle fed all the other kittens.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or bottle fed
tried
them and then tube fed him, but it's at the beginning of the chat.
Yeah.
That's what she means.
Probably, yeah.
I would be interested in that link.
Means, would you do me a favor and post that in the mod board on...
I can just go into... Oh, no, it's not going to
It
show
won't show it for you.
Right.
I mean, maybe. I don't suppose you guys have pictures with the kittens' names on them somewhere. These specific kittens, we do.
Yeah.
If you go to Amanda's Instagram, per foster mama, she does have that.
It's like the most recent.
I think I
most
also...
recent post.
I think I reposted it on our YouTube as well. And ultimately, I'm slowly working on adding every single cat we've ever had with pictures to our website, but it's 180 cats at this point, so it's not a priority for me. She usually has pictures and names of most kittens on her Instagram. Okay, Amanda was able to get that link, by the way, means if you haven't already posted to Mod, you don't need to worry about it.
It shows up in a couple minutes.
So, yeah, there, in the bathroom.
Yeah, so I bottle feed everybody first, and then I tube feed him. That makes sense. Bottle feed. Maverick.
15 minutes in, I believe it's 15 minutes is
Oh
the
God!
tube
Look
feeding.
at all of his flea.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Feeding.
They were so infested with fleas and like a panic. So I did Maverick.
So
and
she
then
says
I did
15 minutes to use the
Penny.
tube feeding.
Or not Penny, Phoenix. Oh God, Phoenix's eyes are so gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was that Rooster?
I think that was Rooster. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like went and showed a picture of Rooster while I was doing other stuff.
Okay.
Oh no, he was still in there. This was when they were very
Yeah,
new
this
then,
is pretty early.
before we set him up in the tent.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, they didn't even have names yet.
That's right. Having a hard time finding them? Do you have a link?
If you go to my Instagram, Per Foster Mama, the very most recent post is these kittens with their names. It's the first picture is Otis.
So it actually shows the character
And then
he's
there's a
named
slide.
after as well.
There's like 10 slides.
And it's a carousel, yeah.
So if you slide through it, it will show you Otis with like the picture of the character he's named after and 2 pictures of Otis. And then it will go to Maeve, shows her and her photos and Jean's at the end.
Okay, you found it? Yeah, means I was actually thinking about that already, shortening it. It might be a while before I do it, but would you mind making like a suggest, do exclamation mark suggest, and then like do suggest, edit, tube feeding, and then drop the link in there for me, and then I'll have, oh God, sorry baby, don't leave me. And out the middle, there's a block of maybe 5 minutes in the middle of nothing. Sure. Yeah, I would just do like that. We'll figure it out.
So choppy.
Yeah, it's unfortunately choppy. I wonder, is there a date on this? I wonder if I have the local archive on it. It's still probably going to be choppy though. No, it just says a year ago. Awesome, thank you. It's not too choppy there, that's good. Okay, well, while Amanda's distracted with that, some technical updates. We've been having a lot of like crashes lately on programs and stuff, so I think I need to spend a day where I erase a bunch of stuff from the hard drive or copy it over to another hard drive and then erase it, and then potentially there's 1 or 2 programs that probably need updates. And I think it's time we did a full PC restart, so I'm probably going to do all that tomorrow. We don't have anything going on, do we? Okay. So yeah, if that's the case, we'll probably be down for like 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long the updates take.
I had to put this in 3 times to get it in.
Yeah, this was pretty early on in here.
This was also
Thank you, Candysaurus
the
Rex.
first tube that I had for him was a really
Loose.
thick tube.
Oh, okay.
And then I ended up getting thinner tubes.
Mm-hmm.
As we went.
Yeah. Okay. You're just gonna watch this whole
It's
series?
almost over.
Is it? Okay. Were there any other questions related to Goose and the tube feeding and all that stuff? Or are we all just content watching kittens nurse now? Oh, how come the one's over there? Is that Amy?
It's Ola.
Ola. Ola is the one that is on the bed alone. It might have been her that I woke up next to, when I was,
I'm sure it was Amy.
because she climbs more. Yeah.
She was the one climbing out last night with
Okay.
Eric.
Yeah.
It was Amy and Eric. So we're looking at Amy and Eric as our 2 alphas.
Okay.
Which checks. They're the noisiest and the first to jump out of the
Yeah.
enclosure.
Star Beams, as I tried using the post to figure it out. Yeah, you kind of have to use process of elimination.
Yeah. So Maeve is like, so first of all, with the boys don't have any orange, obviously, right? They're just white and like tabby. Although Otis is like his
Darker.
tabby is so dark that he really looks white and black. And then Eric's tabby stripes are much more light and stripy.
Yeah.
So that's how you can tell the difference between them. Also, Eric has short hair and Otis probably isn't. So he's a little fluffier, which may or may not be, I don't know how hard that is to tell from the stream. But that's how you can tell the boys apart. Otis is darker and fluffier.
Yeah.
And then as far as the girls go, the one that has like the solid black head with the big black patch over her eye, that's Maeve. She's, I think, pretty easy to spot too.
Yeah.
Because she's the only one like that. She doesn't have any stripes. She's just total calico. She's this one here trying to get in. She's the fluffiest of all the kittens. Ola,
I should just be doing
the one
close-ups.
who's laying down by herself, is the stripiest of all the girls. She has the most stripes. She has like all of her brown patches are very stripy and tabby looking. Amy is this one here, and when you look at her face, it's mostly orange. She's also a stripy calico, but she has a lot more orange and not as many stripes. And then Ruby's the other calico that does the stripes like
Oh,
me.
it's not going to show me anything. So once again, this is Eric, and that's Otis.
Wait, you go down a little on him. Oh, you can't really see his face.
Up and around. Put it all together. That's Otis. Okay.
That was too low, but that's okay.
This is Amy. This is Maeve. This is Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby's like the second most black on her head, and her black is
Yeah,
solid.
So Maeve's face is like this big solid black patch, right? Amy has this big solid like orange patch on her right eye, and then Ruby is like orange black.
But her orange black is like solid.
Right, and she's not really stripy compared to Ola, who's very stripy. Especially if you look at Ola's side there,
Looks like.
right there where it's all
yeah.
curved.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard when she's like curved like that.
Yeah.
So show them the top of her head. Yeah, Ola's like very polka dotty on her sides. See?
Yeah.
And like her other side
That
in
was a weird
particular
position. Okay.
is really stripy.
Alright. Hope that helps.
Okay, now that they're all disrupted, I'm gonna weigh them.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot my mush muffin.
It helps until I forget again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still working on it myself.
I mean, we've had so many kittens in the past that were just totally identical. So in this instance, it's actually easier
A little bit,
because
yeah.
they have distinct pattern. You just have to remember,
Yeah.
who's who. Ola and Amy are the two tabby calicos, and Maeve and Ruby are the two solid calicos. And Eric is the lighter of the boys. Okay, so I'm starting with Ruby.
Okay.
331, 332.
Okay.
Maeve,
Uh-huh.
359.
Okay.
Eric,
Uh-huh.
Giant, 416.
Okay.
Amy, 329.
Oh, she went down.
Ola, 369. Wait, hang on, guys, get up. 370 for Ola.
Okay.
Who didn't I do? Otis?
Otis.
Otis is 369.
Okay. That's it?
I'm gonna do Amy again.
Yeah.
That's the one you said.
That's the second time she would have gone down.
332.
Okay. So she went.
Switch to 329. Yeah,
Just-
right after I said it. Hang on, Mommy.
So wait, what are we calling it?
Hang on.
Jean.
Amy, stay in. Time. 330.
Okay.
So 330.
Okay. It's still Graham down. But
Alright, so,
she's in a holding pattern basically.
so who's after Ruby? Okay, so Ruby
Ola.
went up a lot. Ola went up a good.
Everyone else
Nate
went up pretty good.
Eric went up a ton.
Yep.
Giant Daddy, Otis did good. Okay, so everybody but Amy. That's why she's so whiny and trying to get out, because she's hungry.
Starbeam asked, do you check mom's weight too?
No. I mean, we do sometimes.
Occasionally.
We haven't weighed her recently.
Like, first off, she's a nursing mom, so her weight probably varies a lot throughout the day.
Yeah.
And as long as she doesn't seem unhealthy, there's no need to
we haven't
worry
really
about it.
had a concern where we've, felt like weighing her, but
Yeah.
probably wouldn't hurt to weigh her at this point.
Like, we're weighing the kittens because, aside from just making sure that they're healthy. We want to see that they're going to be on track to being able to get spayed when it's time, and other things of that nature. And if they're not getting enough food, then we need to supplement it. What happened there?
This.
Oh crap! Oh man, that was deep shit. Oh, that sucks. There. Total of no good.
So they're 4 weeks today.
Uh-huh.
Probably should weigh Jean because they're falling quite behind where they should be.
Compared to the first 2 weeks, they were like right on track. They were doing really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I almost started to supplement them the other day, but then
Right.
I noticed that Jean was like spending a lot more time feeding them. So I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But they should all be over 400 grams at this point,
Sure.
when they're not.
It's the other 4 weeks.
So, so yeah, I might feed them today, especially Amy.
Okay.
When I get back from
We got 10 minutes till
I went somewhere to put this paperwork.
put it on the shelves. Is anything else happening this weekend?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I'm going to do a photo shoot with the kittens. And I got to spend some time editing videos for the thing. Oh yeah, if y'all have pets of your own, this year for our Super Bowl event, we're going to do a halftime show that includes clips of all the community pets out there. But I need people to submit those. Horizontal and 10 to 30 seconds. You can go to cuteavalanche.com/blog.
Can you send me info
Yes,
so I
I
can
will send
post
you that
it on the
today as well.
Kittenrescue thing?
Yeah, I want to create a separate one for adoptable animals so I can have them in separate montages.
Well, they don't have to be adoptable. I can just show people's posters.
Okay, that's fine.
Like, whether they're adoptable or
Okay,
not.
that's fine. Yeah, at this point I just want people to send stuff. Defenstration over on YouTube. Yes.
And then
Every
question,
year, yeah.
when they come up on stream, is it gonna say like their name or like their foster's name, or so
Well,
if somebody sees the cat, they can be like.
That's
"Cat
why I wanted to
so-and-so"?
do an adoptable specific form so they can fill out contact information, because the form that I have right now is just the cat's name
But
or the animal's name.
I would do it the animal's name and then at whatever the handle is of the person
That's
who
what
submitted
I'm
it.
saying. I want to do one specifically for people who have cats that will be adoptable that has that kind of information on it.
But wouldn't you want that even for the people
Yeah,
whose
it
cats
has the
aren't
username
adoptable?
if they put a username.
Yeah, that's
in.
what I'm saying,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
username.
But if they want to have contact information,
They
that's
can
fine.
just find the user and then DM them. They don't need anything more than the username.
Right. Thank you, Means. Yeah, Defenstration. Every year we host an event called the Super Bowl.
Or they
Oh my God, can I answer this?
Or they can just email me or like contact me and be like, hey, I was interested in whatever that cat's name
want
was.
to put more work on
Yeah.
your plate. We have a lot. You can go to superbowl.com, SUPURR bowl.com to get more information. This is our 5th annual, and it is a live event that will happen February 11th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And it'll go for about 2 hours, although the entire space will be decked out in decoration for the day, and there'll be there'll be special chat commands, which primarily will be working on Twitch. We might be able to get them working on YouTube as well to some extent. But also so the cats will be broken up into 2 teams based on the show Sex Education that they're named after. So it'll be Team Moordale and Team Cavendish. And when you make a donation through our donation portal, you can add one of the team names, and that will put points onto that team's scoreboard. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Let me get rid of that now. But you can already on YouTube find the landing page for that live stream. If you go to our stream tab, so you go to our YouTube channel page and then look for the stream tab, and you'll already see the Super Bowl live event. Okay. Means asks, so when are you going to play a game on stream? Like a video game? Like a cat video game?
Or like a board game?
Oh, or a board game. Yeah, because those are slightly different questions and setups.
We talked about playing board games with the girls like in here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to think about anything else at this point. I have so much going on.
He's so focused on the Super Bowl.
I have so many things I was
Maybe
hoping
after
to get
that.
done. Because what Amanda said made more sense. Which thing? The board game thing? Yeah, it would definitely be after this event and Valentine's Day. Yeah, well, I've definitely talked about video games in the past, but it was more as something we would do on potentially just the YouTube channel. But we would focus on cat-specific video games, which I've been in touch with one of those companies, and they were interested, but they have a release coming out in summer, so we're waiting on that. Okay. But yeah. Well. It's almost 11. 5 of. 8 7, 6, 7 of. What are people supposed to submit someone's name to go for Valentine's Day? Yeah. They do ! V-Day, and it should have at least the one from last year, which is probably just as good. Like, I don't think we need to do anything different. There you go. That should still have all the relevant information, I believe. I haven't even looked at that yet because, again, focused on the other thing.
Well, the Valentine's Day is like 3 days after the Super Bowl.
I know.
So.
But that doesn't need to be altered generally, except for maybe I need to write, 2024 somewhere. But for the most part, it's all the same.
You should still double check.
Yes, I will. My point being, I don't want to promote that now because, they're both donation driven, so I'd rather the donation things go to the bigger event. I wish they would stop planning these two things so close together. It says it's a week of love, hearts, cats, and betrayal. Is that the week leading up to the 14th? It'll be the week after the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to overlap them.
On the day of the Super Bowl, starting on Sunday. So Valentine's Day is Wednesday.
Right. So
people are going to do it like after Valentine's.
No, we'll start it on the 12th.
So it's a 3-day event.
Yeah.
Not a week event, apparently.
I mean, we'll let it run for the week. I don't care.
Nobody's going to care after the day.
No, that's fine. It's a minor thing. It really is what it is. Like, you go to adjust the wording for that then. I have other things to do. I feel so behind on this. I don't want to talk about other events. Like,
I feel just so behind on life.
that too.
Like,
And also I'm actively fighting off a cold. Or I'm already sick and just
yeah,
pushing
Betty
through it,
was sick and she got Sam sick.
clearly.
Yeah, she had her audition on Thursday. It went okay. Parts of it were great, and then parts of it were not so great. She messed up on her song. She was disappointed in herself, but you know, it's her first ever audition for her first ever production, so I don't think it's a huge deal. Plus, the part she was trying out for doesn't include any kind of solo songs, so maybe she's fine.
Yeah.
You know, and she's unlikely, honestly, to get that part anyway, because it's her first production. More than likely, she'll just be some kind of like,
Chorus
yeah,
player.
like ensemble, you know,
Right.
cast person. Anyway, she was sick. She got Sam sick. I just feel like crazy overwhelmed. Like,
Yep.
working takes so much physical and mental energy from me
Yep.
that when I get home, I have like zero drive to do anything. It's hard enough just like picking the kids up from school and getting them dinner and having them do their homework and making sure they've like bathed
Right.
in the last month. Like, our house is a freaking disaster.
Mm.
Everything is dirty. I can't stand it. I can't function like this. I'm like, it's just too much for me. I can't do both things. Like, be a full-time employee and like a full-time mom, wife person. It's too much for me personally. Some people do it and they do it so amazingly and they get up every morning and their like hair is done perfectly and their clothes are clean and like they have makeup on and like they look amazing and they like bring their kids to school and their kids look amazing and you know they go and they work all day and then they come home and like I don't know, their house is gorgeous and I'm just like, I don't get it. What kind of magic spell is this? Because none of that happens to me. It doesn't make sense. I mean, as long as everything is getting done, it's not. The bare minimum is getting done, yes.
Yeah.
The bare minimum is getting done. We have food, we have clothes, people are getting to school
Right.
and to their jobs. And, you know, that's it. Sometimes the clothes are clean. Sometimes the people are clean. Sometimes the homework is finished.
Right.
Are all of these things done all the time? No. But, you know.
Sounds like you're describing.
Who says what everything is? Sounds like you're describing money plus maids. Us broke ass people don't get luxuries like that. Exactly. I mean,
Right.
That's exactly it. Is like, we don't have somebody who can come to our house once a week and clean it while we're working or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have just any of that stuff. I don't have money to like even buy makeup or like go get my hair done or you know have super nice stuff. I spent money buying these couch covers for our couches because we've had the same couches since we moved into this house, right? Which was like almost 12 years ago. And we've had little kids and like the arms of our couches were getting like grimy and like
you know, the back of the couch had been scratched by the cats, and like they were just, various things have gotten spilled on the couches and what have you, right? And they were just looking like dingy and yucky and grimy and gross. And I was embarrassed, and I was like, it's embarrassing to have company over to our house when like our couches look like this. So I bought, you know, relatively cheap couch covers to put on them, but they looked nice. And still, you know, for the couch and the love seat, it was over $100. But I used the like gift cards that I got from my work people for Amazon that I got for Christmas to buy them. Like that's what I did with my Christmas money, was I bought couch covers for my house. And like not even a month that we had them, Moose chewed a giant hole in one of the cushion covers, right in the middle of the cushion. Yeah. And you can't flip it over because it only goes over one side. And I'm just like, great, like that, like the whole thing is worthless now. Like I was trying to make it look nice so we could have company and not feel embarrassed, and then now there's a giant hole in the cushion, and it's like so angry. Yeah. Like I don't even know. Is that Amy not eating? Yes, it is. It's Amy laying over there all by herself. She was with Eric, and then Eric got up and went over to Mom. I should probably pick her up and put her on Mom. I never wear makeup, and my hair currently needs just a wash, and I won't get to do that till tomorrow. Anyways, now that I've done enough complaining, I need to get Irish dressed for martial arts. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We will see you Wednesday night and Saturday morning and next weekend for the Super Bowl. Sam will see you Monday, obviously. Take care and be well. I feel that all too well. My birthday and Christmas money goes to bills, not even to pretty things. Exactly. For sure. Well, Amy got nothing yet. That's how it is. But 5 minutes earlier, when she was nursing them, Amy did nurse while Ola was sleeping over there, so. When there are that many of them, they don't all nurse every time.
Sure.
They kind of have to trade off because I think a lot of them use the same nipples. Which I think is what's happened with Amy and Ruby, which is why the two of them are the smallest girls. I think Amy and Ruby share a nipple. That's been my theory for quite some time. So, because I always see them fighting over the same one.
Gotcha.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you later. Gotta go do mom stuff now.
Okay. I'll be out in a minute.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Just trying to think if there were any other updates. I feel like there was something, but I think it was just that we were doing the internet cable. Thankfully, we didn't pull our connection out. I mean, Calico Fights since day one has been pretty crazy. Yeah, because of the sharing. Yeah, so we should be back in the room later on today to do the photo shoot. I don't know how much of that you'll see. It'll probably be on camera 3 on the bed. And tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to do a full restart of the PC. I might split some things up and try and clear the hard drive today if I can. So I'll be in and out potentially. But yeah, tomorrow at some point we will be, I know what the other thing was, we'll be down for about 15 minutes, depending on how long it takes to update softwares. The other thing is, I think I want to try, for those of you on Twitch, I think I want to try activating their, I don't know how familiar you all are with the Twitch ads thing, but for those of you who are not subscribers, when you first get to the stream, it will play a pre-roll. To mitigate that, we can opt in to doing a mid-roll instead, So sometime during the streaming experience, people will see an ad as opposed to immediately. And I think I'm going to try that for a month or two and see if it makes a difference, because we get a good amount of like decent sized raids, and then immediately it'll drop to like 50% of those viewers and then like 20% of those viewers. And I think, since they're all pretty much new people, they're getting, the pre-roll and they're like, peace out. So unless there's a major objection to this, I'm going to activate that. The big sort of question, and I have to like really remember how this all works, is like, I'm not positive if I can just split it up into like 30 seconds here or a minute here and 30 seconds there, or if I have to do like one big 3-minute chunk. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be up in arms in that. Thank you, Queen says, ads help with revenue. Yeah, I mean, we're not living off ad revenue, obviously, but it is what it is. You can do every 30 minutes at 1.5, so 90 seconds. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at it. That sounds pretty good. That sounds better than a 3-minute break. So if that works, I'll set that up. I just have to see how that works. I think I can also just automate it through my chat bot, so that when we do stuff like chats, it's not doing those in the middle, because that might be annoying, or I can manually do it at that point. But yeah, so that's gonna start soon, and we'll see how that works, because obviously we want to try and grow the channel, because the more views we get, the more cats we can save. And if you really hate ads but you really like the channel and want to support the channel, try and become a subscriber if you can. Alright, that's all. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will be definitely back Monday for the chat and in and out of here today and tomorrow. If you've got an Instagram account of your own, use our hashtag Cuteavalanche and post a picture of your pet, and they will appear here whenever the logo for the service we use goes away. Oh, look, or if you post pictures of food, that's me. I did that. That was for a brand deal. Unnecessary. It's because it is us. It's not like it's tagged. And there's the post that has all of the kitten names. That's the one you're looking for. If you go to instagram.com/purrfostermama, you can make them sleep for some time, but depending how you do it, you may need to sleep more. Also, Turbo treats it like they've seen the ads and pays toward the ad without having to see it. Oh, that's what Turbo is. I've started to notice that in our analytics. It's minuscule, but I have started to notice that, and I was like, what is that? Thank you. Awesome. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Let's see if I can... Oh, we're not even zoomed. There you go. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Turbo so you can pay once and see no ads on any channel. Okay. Cool. Alright, and... Oh, Camisaurus over on you now. I didn't see your message. It must have flipped through. Sorry, I'm kind of distracted. Had lunch early. No worries. Always good to see you, though. Thanks for always inviting your fans to the broadcast. Alright. I'm just going to check any of the other chats before I turn the volume down. I don't think we missed anything from anyone else. Alright, cool. I'm going to turn this down a bit and get out of here. Oh, and I'll put camera 1 back.